The word of the Lord today is coming from Proverbs chapter 18, verse 20 and 21. And we're using the Message version because I just like the way it read. It just sounded very current, easy to understand, just for what we're talking about right now. Again, that's Proverbs chapter 18, verse 20 and 21. Words satisfy the mind as much as fruit does the stomach. Good talk is as gratifying as a good harvest. Words kill, words give life. They're either poison or fruit. You choose. And we are still in our series, Choose Your Words. And we thank God for all that Pastor Rafford has been going over for the past few weeks. And we're going to continue in that, but this is the ending, and then next week we start a new series. But today I just wanted to talk to you about you hold the key. All right. You hold the key. If you would put that scripture back up there for me, please. Words satisfy the mind as much as fruit does the stomach. Words are very, very important. And I didn't understand it growing up. I'm confessing to you all. It's okay. I'll probably confess a whole bunch while I'm up here preaching. But young people, learn to confess early. It keeps your pride down. Because if you don't confess, then it hurts your feelings when you get embarrassed. But if you confess, you have nothing to be embarrassed about. So reading, I don't know if I'm too nervous or if I can't sit still. But when I read, I used to go to sleep all the time. And my father would be like, just pick a book that's got action. Okay. Action only lasts for maybe the first 10 minutes. And then I would think I would really be reading. And I would wake up like, oh, well, I don't know what happened to that. And Daddy would say, well, you've been in there reading for about an hour. Well, you're done. I'll be like, all right, thank you. Not knowing I slept for the 45 minutes. Thought I was reading, but anyhow. But I'm saying that to say, your vocabulary is very, very important. When my teachers used to say, learn how to use multiple words, for every one meaning, you should know more than one word. Yeah. You should be able to say different words. You shouldn't use the same thing when you're writing a paper or when you're talking to someone. You shouldn't be able to just only say one word all the time. Your vocabulary is very important. And I'm saying this because you have to learn how to feed your mind. It says words satisfy the mind as much as fruit does the stomach. So you have to eat every day, right? And it says how much fruit satisfy. So if your stomach has to be satisfied in order to grow and develop, why do you not think that we have to stimulate our minds? You have to learn how to take in positive words and know what words that continue to build your mind. And kids, I understand now things are different. When I played sports, everyone did not get a trophy. Everyone did not get a certificate. Everyone did not get honorable mention. And, okay, we learned it's a different generation. I get it. So, we learn. But I do understand the importance of building up every child. I do understand the importance of when you go to the game, not shouting, oh, that kid is terrible. Yeah. Oh, that kid shouldn't. Whose kid is that? And the reason why I'm saying that is because everyone is offended as an adult when it's their children that's being talked about. Every adult gets offended when oh, that's my child. Or you have that look that you give the person like, all right, you got a few more minutes and you got one more comment before I'm gonna, have to pull you to the side. So that's why it is very important, I understand, because it keeps the atmosphere safe. So, kids, that's why we teach you all that we have to build you up. We are constantly trying to talk positive to you. We are constantly trying to tell you all the good things that you are and not the bad things that you are. And we have to learn how to do that, and we have to learn how to tell you, because when we're talking to you, we're also talking to ourselves. And so many times people have gone through life and you don't know how to be positive because you were never in a positive environment or you were never in a positive atmosphere. But if you would practice with our young people, it would encourage you, because you will begin to believe that as they get better, you're going to get better also. So please practice on using words that are satisfying to the mind, meaning words that build up, words that are positive, words that continually to encourage you to do and be better. Your mind has the ability to work against you sometimes. That's why you have to learn how to speak positive. And you have to learn how to continue to build up. And it says, good talk is as gratifying as a good harvest. Now, what I mean by good talk is good conversation. Being a Christian does not qualify your conversation. What do you mean by that? Well, I'm saying just because you profess the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and how much you love him and he died for your sins and you were baptized, you come to every meeting, meaning you at youth meeting, you at Bible, you at whatever's going on, you're here. That doesn't mean you always talk like you're here. And it says that it should be gratifying as a good harvest, meaning after someone talks to you or after you talk to a child, that child should feel like they can accomplish anything. That person should feel like they can accomplish anything. When me and you get done talking, you know, I should be excited, you should be excited. We should feel gratified when we leave each other and not grieved. So many times we have a habit of getting into our pity parties or feeling like nobody knows the trouble I've seen and all those kind of things. And kids, I do not know if y'all watch Winnie the Pooh. Do kids still watch Winnie the Pooh? Because when we was growing up, Eeyore was the saddest character on Winnie the Pooh. You know, nothing ever satisfied Eeyore. You know, Winnie the Pooh could be eating his big old thing of honey, smiling. Tigger could be jumping. You know, everybody else is happy. And Eeyore, under the shade tree in the sunlight, it didn't matter. He was just unhappy. And sometimes that is how you are as individuals. You are the person that is never able to feed my harvest. You are the person that is never able to speak life into yourself, let alone anyone else. So you have to learn. That's why it is important to feed your mind with positive things. That's why it is important to have good talk. You should know how you are talking, to whom you are talking, and to what you are talking about. Ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself those questions. And it is simple as what you watch on TV. Kids, I understand, I don't know the abbreviation, but Grand Theft Auto, I get it. Most every kid plays it. And when I seen it, all I could think was, well, I don't know if my mom, my dad, you know, we couldn't play stuff like that. But things are different. I'm not telling no one how to run their house because, side note, I have no children. I don't have any. My nieces, nephews, godkids, those are opportunities. What I mean by opportunities are, I pick them up when I want to, or when I am asked to, and they get dropped back off to their parents. So I'm not getting into that information, about what you get. You ain't got no business, how you run your house, how you pay your bills, you handle that. But I'm saying, kids, that's why parents tell you can't listen to all kinds of rap all the time, or you can't listen. And on top of that, they sound really bad. I'm sorry, I'm going to get back into my sermon. But this is for the young people. Do y'all really understand what they're saying? Because I even tried to turn my music up real loud. And the louder it got, the more muffled it got. And normally, like when you speak in a microphone, when the microphone gets louder, you should be able to hear someone more clear. So it was just my little tantrum I threw, just for a little bit. Kids, be careful of what you listen to. Be careful what you take in. Be careful. I know the beat is good. I know the rock. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Wake up. I know it. I get it. I get it. But while you are rocking, just try to listen to the lyrics. Because the devil is sneaky, and before you know it, you got a potty mouth. Why you got a potty mouth? Because you always right here. You don't know nothing. And then once you realize why you always right there, the music they ain't talking about nothing, but they cussing every other word. Or they're talking about things that are not going to build you up. There is a difference. I'm not that person that's going to tell you all rap is negative. You have to learn how to listen to good words in anything, in any conversation, in the locker room, on the playground, wherever you are. Do not get caught up in being a bully. Don't worry about being a cool kid. Don't worry about those things because they're not important. And one thing I will tell you, standing before you, everybody who's cool right now is not going to be cool in 5 to 10 years. That girl that was the best looking, that young man that was the best looking, just give him 5 to 10. 5 to 10. 5 to 10. And I'm telling you this because you have to learn how to worry about building up yourself. You have to learn how to be able to be encouraged and be okay with the individual God has made you to be. And we are, as adults, are going to speak into your lives. We are yet speaking into each other's lives to build each other up. And the rest of it says, words kill. That means you have the ability to kill somebody, to hurt somebody very bad by what you say. And it's not as much as talking about their life or where they come from or what they do. You can simply say, I don't like you. That I don't like you can really mess somebody up. You don't know what's going on with that person. You don't know if they had a hard time at home. You don't know if they had a hard time at work. You don't know if their kids are, you don't know. So when it says words kill, words kill. Words can hurt somebody worse than fighting can. That saying, when I was growing up, we used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie. Because me, I wasn't a fighter. I was a words. A words. I was a words, and I wasn't going to stop until I knew that I had hurt you. That's real. And when I learned that my work, like fighting, it's temporal. You might bruise, you might bleed, but after a day or two, you forget. But words get planted into you. When you go to sleep, you remember what that person said to you. When you wake up, you remember what that person said to you. So words are really strong. Then it said words give life. Which one would you rather have as an individual? Would you rather be alive or would you rather be dead? Think about that for yourself. How do you want someone to treat you? How do you want someone to talk to you? And we get so caught up sometimes in our emotions. Don't let your emotions take over your words. Your emotions will not always match how you should talk to someone. And children, you know, like when you're growing up and your parents say something to you, I remember one of the things that I really used to get in trouble for was the And I wasn't thinking nothing of it, but your parents tell you to do something, and I couldn't say shoot because it was too close to the other word. So mine was And meant, like, even as adults, means so many things. It depends on how you feel, what was said before, what came after, whatever the case. But that used to get my back. Thank the Lord for a strong back in my adulthood. That's what I say. But what I'm saying, kids, you have to learn when your parents are talking to you and they tell you don't reply under your breath. Don't shrug your shoulders. All of those, and I don't know if anyone has ever told you, that's a form of speaking. That is a form of speaking. So just because it didn't come out of your mouth didn't mean you didn't say it. So even as adults, we have to, when we roll our eyes, we say something. If your whatever the case is, if your neck turns too far to the side while someone's talking to you, you're saying something. What body language speaks. So let me help you. You should also have good body language. Let all your wording be good. Let it all give life. They are either poison or they are fruit. Now, you have the choice. And poison sometimes, well, not sometimes, the majority of the time, sometimes you get a warning and sometimes you don't. And what I mean by that is sometimes you pick up bottles or you see things and it has the skull and the bones on it, meaning this is poisonous. You do not always get that with individuals. You are not always going to be able to tell who is going to speak life into you and who is going to kill you with their words. So you have to learn how to speak it first. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have to fertilize the atmosphere. Kids, sometimes you have to be the ones who are on the playground or in the gym or whatever to change the conversation. And even, I like to laugh, I do. I laugh a lot, even in counseling. And it's not, I don't mean to be offensive, but I don't know, I just laugh, I smile, I'm a happy person. But you have to learn how even if you hear something and you start to chuckle, ask for the ability to stop, to control that so you don't get caught up in all the jokes. Because jokes sometimes are a way of me killing you without me directly killing you. Jokes, sometimes you have to watch what you say to your friends, even as adults. Jokes are not always to be laughed at because sometimes there is something behind that joke that you really meant. But you really weren't bold enough to say it directly how you felt. So you had to find some kind of sneaky way to, to express yourself and make everyone else laugh. So learn to be able to control your environment. Learn to be able to control your situations. If people think you are a person that might call you a party pooper, so what? Because what I'm going to tell you as young people, learn how to treat people right now. Right now. Because you will get older. You will need people. You don't know who is going to, when you go for that interview, you don't know who the hiring person is in that office. You do not know who you have mistreated. You don't know who you have misspoken to. You don't know, and young people, for instance, now you need those of you who are going off to college, even those of you who are in college, we all need money. Because college is expensive. And if you are that person that don't know how to talk to people, why do you think that financial aid office is going to go over and beyond to help you? You can cry. You can throw fits. You can do all of that. But just because you did not know how to speak to people, they choose not to help you. So learn how to be the life everywhere you go. Learn how to speak life in every situation. Learn how to be the key holder to being positive. Learn how to build up and not destroy. You have the choice. We have the choice as individuals. As an adult, I have to learn how not to be the one that's always negative. I have to be the one to learn how to, even if the situation looks bad, I have to learn how to speak positive things. I have to know what God said about my situation and about me. What has God told you? What has God told you you're going to be able to do? You have to hold to that. I don't want to move too fast. If you go to my next screen, please. Keep going. You have to learn what to hold on to. What's on your mind really matters. What's on your mind is going to affect if you're able to speak positive or negatively. If you all would look at Philippians chapter 4. It's the next screen. Excuse me, Proverbs 8 is our next screen. Proverbs 4, chapter 8. Proverbs 4, chapter 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and been in me, and the God of peace shall be with you. Will you go back one more slide? Thank you. Finally, brethren, this is telling you what you ought to think about every day. Sometimes we get to the place to where we really want to feel down and out, and we want some help. And there is nothing worse than when you want to have a pity party and nobody will join you. Then you get to no, you're not sensitive and you don't care about nobody. I care, but if I join you, who's going to help you? If I join your pity party and we having a pity party together, mind you, we the only two that like each other. Who's going to help us? But anyhow, it says, whatsoever things are true concerning the word of God, you got to know. You have to know the Word of God. You have to know what God said about you. You have to know that He did not create you as a mistake.
That's right.
Whatsoever things are honest, you have to hold to those things that continue to be positive and to build you up. Whatsoever things are just, meaning how you treat people. Whatsoever things are level across the board, not things that are right for you and not right for you. I can do it, but you can't. That's not just. Whatsoever things are pure. What's in the sense of being pure, the sense of the things that are innocent. You have to learn how to remember those things. Whatsoever things are lovely, and whatsoever things are of good report, being positive. You have to learn how to be that person that even though I am going through, what's the good things about what I'm going through? Even though I'm currently hungry, what's in my cupboard that I can work with? That's good. Kids, you have to learn when your teacher tells you, well, for instance, I'll give you this example. You have a bad report card, or you get a bad note sent home. Most of the times in that comes some kind of critique or some kind of notes to help you be better. So when your teacher says you're not applying yourself, but then it'll say, but if you do your vocabulary test every night, you'll get better grades. Or if you quit talking in the hallway, older kids, you might be able to not have so many tardies and get to class on time, which will keep you out of detention, which will help you to have a passing grade. All of those. So in that, when you are in those situations, you have to learn how to say, what can make me be better? What can help me be better? What can help me to go on? If you go to the next one, what can help you? If there be any virtue and if it be any praise, think on these things. When it says if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, if there be anything to celebrate positive morally, if there's anything that's going to gain praise, think on those things. And going on, it says, those things which ye have both learned and received of me and heard, been in me, and the God of peace shall be with you. What I mean by in me, Paul was talking to the people, and he was telling them, watch me be positive. Watch me speak into you. And if you do it, the God that blesses me is also going to bless you. And so what I'm saying to you is, watch who you are taking instructions from. A negative person is not going to be able to teach you how to be positive. A negative friend is not going to be able to build up the atmosphere. They're always going to tear people down and tear down the place wherever they are. You have to learn to watch everybody, especially those who are in front of you. It is hard. I don't want to say it's hard. That's not what I want to say. Everyone has situations, everyone has battles, everyone has heartache, everyone has letdowns, everyone has failures. But how you conduct yourself in the middle of that will determine where you go. All of that. What you say in the midst of all of that will determine how long you stay in that situation and how far you go when you come out of that situation. So many times, we'll let different things like, for instance, when your body hurts and you don't, we'll let that affect everything. Everything. Don't talk to me because my body hurts. Kids, I know, because when I was growing up, your mom and your daddies, mamas, y'all really the worst. Mamas, y'all are really the worst. And what I mean by that is, you can't do nothing when y'all have a headache. Don't ask for nothing to eat. Don't ask to go outside. No, you can know he or she cannot come in my house. So you have to learn how to, even in the middle of that, please be positive. If you don't want no company, just say, I'm not feeling my best. I would appreciate if it was a little quiet today so I can feel better, in a little bit. Because, we'll have the habit that, it'll destroy everything. It will destroy what you cook for dinner. It'll destroy, and then don't let us not be grateful because what you cooked in the middle of your pain. And that's for children and spouses, or whatever, whoever's in the house, cat, dog, fish. Everybody is in trouble because they did not appreciate your hard work when your body was hurting. But I'm saying that to say, please, mothers, be positive even in those situations. And it's important because kids learn from everything. I remember one time I was a little bit younger and something was going on. My mama looked at me and was like, you just so mean. And I thought to myself, now, everything, this is your creation. You built this machine by hand. But okay, all right, So what I'm saying that because fathers, whatever you do, however you conduct yourselves, everything is taken into consideration. You cannot tell children, young people, even adults to adults, I cannot tell you what to do and I don't want to do it. I cannot tell you to clean a house and I'm dirty. No. Kids learn through showing. Adults learn through showing. So we have to learn how to be visually active and learn how to do things with our hands, learn how to speak things with our mouth, learn how to make life happen through everything you do. Learn how to make life work for you. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is, kids, even, I'm about to save you. I'm about to save you. I'm about to save you. Because I don't know if nobody told me this outside of my parents. And by the time they was telling me this, it was something else coming with it. But what I mean is, when people tell you to do things, it's better just to do it. And what I mean, I'm talking in a positive sense. In the positive sense. Things that when your parents say clean your room, just do it. When your parents say don't say nothing right now, that is your best time to go to sleep. That is your best opportunity to go get a nap, go outside, just stop, cut it off. And I'm not saying that everyone beats their children, I'm not saying that, but in some way, you will pay for not doing what you were instructed to do. It could be as simple as I need $20 after this football game. Yeah, no. Can't help you. So, kids, please just learn everybody all the way around, even as adults. Sometimes we have the ability to backtalk each other. And what I mean by that is, how you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell me? You was late. And that's why a lot of you have a problem on your jobs. And what I mean by that is because when the supervisor or whoever is over you conducts the meeting and says, Ebony, I'm just picking on you. Louis, every day, you clock in 5 minutes after. Those of you who have salary jobs, I don't clock in and out. Well, you supposed to schedule yourself for 8 hours, 7.5, but I only see you for 6. Well, you're never here. Or you come late, I'm the boss. And until my boss come and tell me it would be better for you to stay in this pocket and just keep your name clean and do everything that you have to do, because there is nothing worse than when you get reprimanded or fired or whatever and the boss who was doing whatever they want to do still got a job. Still got a job. Still doing whatever they want to do. Well, that's between them, God, and whoever's over them. But for us as adults, it is better for us to be able to go on, and when someone is speaking life, correction is life. Correction is life. And what do you mean by that? Because when someone is speaking in for you to be positive and to get built up, they are speaking life. Now, there's a way to do it. There is a way to do it. I played football. I did. I played a few sports. But I never was comfortable, because when you holler at me, I can take correction. I'm not above correction. But when that voice gets elevated, it's like things happen. I start rejecting everything that you say. So, and I wasn't a fighter, but my mouth was slick. So, yeah. So what I'm saying is, you have to learn, because everyone is not going to be able to take that harsh, that flip that you have in your tone. You wonder why when the young people look at you like, didn't you hear me say that to you? Well, how did you say it? How did you say it? When you were guiding them to their seat, did you have them up under their armpit? You know that good hook? So when you walk, they walk. You know, is that how you was guiding them? Because that's not life. That's not life. So you have to learn. It's okay, kids, it is okay even when you feel like, now, I'm not getting you set up, because again, I told you I don't have kids. And what worked in my house don't always work in everyone else's house, how I was raised. But there is a way that you can talk to your parents. There is a way that you can talk to those who have a rule over you. There's a way to ask questions. If you do not understand, I suggest you ask. And ask in a nice way. And don't try to be smart. Just say, Mom, Dad, whoever is raising you, I'm not quite understanding. And I'm not trying to be funny, but if they hit you with you don't have to don't understand, just keep not understanding. Don't ask too many whys. Once they told you, I'm not going to explain, just do it. Just kids, young people, please, just do it. And we're wrapping up, but I have one more I want to talk about. And if you all know the story of Abraham, when you go to my next one, Aria, when you go, I want to talk about the 5-to-1 ratio. When I say 5-to-1, There are 5, for every negative reaction, there are 5 positive things needed around you to cancel out that one negative. So, even it kept saying in relationships, in spousal relationships, in friendships, for every negative thing I say about you, I need to find 5 positive words to counteract that one negative thing.
That's good.
So, instead of working, for me, always remembering, well, because I was sitting down, I'm going to confess, I sat down and I said, that's a lot of math. And I'm not a negative person in that sense, but even if I say the negative things that I've said in my life, not other people, if I say the negative things or the complaints that I've had that God is not moving fast enough, that's a lot of math. To sit down and write or think of 5 words, well, Lord, I'm unhappy. Well, Lord, you blessed me today. Lord, you fed me today. Lord, you clothed me today. Lord, you put gas in my car today. Lord, my family's doing good today. Okay, and that's just one complaint. So that's why it is so important to continue to build each other up, to continue to stay positive, because if I stay positive, I don't have to worry about the 5-to-1 ratio, meaning I don't have to worry about trying to come back and backtrack. Oh, Lord, I got to go think of 5 things because I just got done complaining. Stay in a state of thank you and keep an attitude of gratitude. Stay positive. Stay thankful. Stay appreciative. And what I mean by that is, for instance, Christmas is coming up. Those of you who do, those of you who don't. But anytime you give gifts, you want to feel appreciated. Anytime you do something for somebody, you want to feel appreciated. My parents used to work hard, and there was nothing worse than you got a living room full of toys, and my brother and myself might like 3. And, you know, they would be very, very upset. You all are so ungrateful. And we're not, as kids, you're not thinking as being ungrateful because all you have is the I want, I want, I want. And the first thing out of your mouth is, but I don't like. As adults, we do it to the Lord all the time. The Lord bless you with a job. Oh, Lord, but I would rather be here at 9 instead of 7:30. The Lord, those of you who are married, the Lord blesses you because that's what you wanted. You cried, I have to have, I need. And when the Lord gives you, and what's even bad, they didn't fall out the sky. You chased and prayed for that individual. And then when it happens, oh Lord, well, Lord, I wish, or Lord, could you, instead of being thankful before whatever is going on in that situation, and I use for single people, well, because I don't want to sound like the person that's against marriage. I am for marriage. For single people, when you get in that comfortable zone, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want nobody to ask me for nothing. I don't want nobody to depend on me for nothing. Then you get sick. And then all your other single friends ain't got time because they doing what single people do, and that is whatever they want. Can somebody, won't nobody just bring me no soup? You didn't want nobody to depend on you for nothing.
That's good word.
So learn how to, when I say keep an attitude of gratitude in every state of life. Young people, be grateful, please. Learn how to say please and thank you now. Learn how to say please and thank you now, even to your friends. Can I have? May I have? Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being my buddy. Everybody don't have buddies. Everybody don't have friends that the other parents like. There is nothing worse than your best buddy your parents will not let come in your house. You have to learn, people. We have to learn. We have to learn. I'm wrapping up. Abraham was given a promise. Go to our next one. Abraham was given a promise. As it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations before him whom he believed, even God, who quickeneth the dead and calleth those things which be not as though they were. That is Romans chapter 4, verse 17. In our closing, I told you what the scripture said, you choose. Words are life and they are death. They are poison or they are powerful. You have the ability to choose what you're going to be, what you're going to speak. And I'm saying this to you because Abraham was given a promise. The Lord spoke it when Abraham was old. Just to sum up the story, Abraham and Sarah were old. It is said to be believed, now he was 100 when his promise came, but it is said that he was 75 when the Lord spoke it. Why am I telling you this? Because there may be a period between when you hear the promise and when the promise comes to pass. But you have to choose your words in between time. Because Abraham was told he would be a father of many nations. But he felt he was too old for it to happen. But when the Lord spoke it, that meant it was going to happen. Now, I'm telling you to choose your words because you have the ability to speak life into yourself. You have the ability to call those things as not, that are not as though they were. You have the opportunity to build you and those around you up. You have to learn to be that person that when someone says, well, it's not looking that good for you right now. Well, for me right now. Mind you, that person has told you that they know they are born to be a leader. You have to learn how to speak and help that person grab a hold to what they first believed and what they first knew God, and not stay in that it's not looking too good right now. Young people, that's why it is important for us to speak positive into you. Because in between the time you are going through adolescence and even young adulthood, if you make a mistake, if we label you by that mistake, you identify by that. There are adults who have been in their mistake, the label, for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. No one ever talked against or spoke against the label. No one ever encouraged them how to get out of the way of the label. Meaning, if someone, I'm just saying, if someone you know has been an illegal chemical engineer, now, the negative was I said illegal. The positive was I said chemical engineer. meaning they have the ability and the know-how to mix, to add, to formulate. But nobody ever spoke and directed them. And yes, you do have to study and apply yourself, but that is not a reason for you to stick with a label. That is not a reason. And for those of you who don't want to work, those of you, when I say work, I mean work for yourself, as in being positive, it will be hard for you. Because there are times when no one will be around, but you have to learn how to say, this is what I want for my life. I remember the story of Solomon as a young person. It always intrigued me because not only was he the richest man, he was very wise. I told the Lord I promise you, it is not a lie. When I was a teenager, I told the Lord I wanted to be wise. I didn't say rich. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with you saying rich. That's what you want, that's what you want. But what I wanted to be was wise, that I could help other people. So when the rich came, I would be able to hold on to it. I told you that story because I'm not yet rich. Currently, just to let you, I'm unemployed. But in between, until it gets here, I told Miss Bridget, the Lord convicted me because I kept saying, I'm waiting for my better. Waiting is what I was doing. When I say waiting, that means I was not applying myself to get to my better. So, you in being positive, in speaking life, and having the choice, you have to put some action to get to the better. For those of you who play football, the young guys that play football, you cannot get out there and say, I am, and have no stats. If you have no statistics behind your name, you are a bunch of words.
Come on, brother Mike.
So what I am saying to you, you have to build up and continue to call those things as not as though they were. You have to say, I am going to be, I will be, or I am currently. What do you mean by that? If you unhappy, just a simple, I'm happy. I'm happy. If you plan and you going out there and it's something simple as you look tired, no, I'm okay. I'm all right. I got my, and I'm speaking life into myself. You, in every situation and everything you do, you have to choose your words. You have to. In choosing your words, and again, and building yourself up and doing your work, knowing that the words that you are putting into you are positive. Learn how to study what you want to be. Learn how to go to a conference. And what I mean by that is, I have nothing against church conferences. I have nothing against church conferences. But that's not the only way you're going to survive in life. You can only have Bible study, a fellowship dinner, and an open invitation for so long, and nothing happened. Young people, if you want to be an entrepreneur, there are young entrepreneur programs. Ask. whatever you want to be. I promise you all are living in a different time. Things happen so fast. Things change so fast. I thought things were fast when I was coming along. And I'm not even old, but I don't even feel like trying to keep up. You got this new thing? No, I don't want it. I don't want it. But what I'm saying, you all have a great opportunity. We are going to speak life in everything that we do, in every place that we go. We are going to choose to be life. You should want to choose to be that person that everybody wants to talk to. Everybody wants to come to their environment. Everybody wants you to be around. When the friends is going to the movies, is John going? If John ain't going, I don't want to go, because we ain't going to have a good time if John ain't going. And in the good time is the positive good time. It is the John or the Susan, Sarah, well, Shaniqua, whoever is going to speak life and build everyone up. That is the person you should aspire to be. I am so grateful for this opportunity to stand before you. People who have tuned in, please choose your words. Choose to build and not to destroy. Choose to speak life and not to kill. No, nobody can blame you but you. In Jesus' name, know that you are responsible for speaking life or speaking death. It is your choice, and please use them wisely in Jesus' name.